My child, hear me now. A shadow stirs, and you must not delay. I am Gabriel, messenger of the Most High, sent to awaken your spirit in this crucial hour. Can you feel the quiver in the air, the faint golden light flickering as if breathing with life? Listen to the winds, they ripple through this room as though carrying whispers meant only for you. Someone watches, yet not with love, with intent hidden in darkness. Beloved, this is not ordinary guidance, your attention is required immediately. The veil is thin, my child of light. Open your heart fully, for the unseen stirs and your path will be touched by forces you do not yet comprehend. Pay heed to the fleeting glow around objects, the shadows stretching where they should not, for these are the signs of what approaches. Every instinct you feel now is sacred, do not ignore it. Message 2, Divine Alarm continues. Precious soul, I urge you to steady your breath. The room is alive with subtle signals, and your spirit is being called to recognize them. Look carefully, the letters on your surroundings may momentarily shimmer, fleeting forms may appear and vanish, trying to communicate truths that lie just beyond mortal sight. My child, the awareness you feel is divine, it is a warning and a call to action. Trust these feelings, they are the first tremors of a hidden storm. Someone, cloaked in familiarity, whose name begins with the letter R, moves closer to the edge of your life with intentions not fully visible. Your heart may flutter, but know this, fear is only natural, vigilance is your shield. Do not be passive, beloved. Pay attention to patterns, repetitions, or sudden pangs of unease, they are not coincidences. Message 3, Heightened Urgency. My child of light, now the signs intensify. Shadows grow longer than reason allows, the air itself feels weighted, charged with purpose. Can you hear the distant ethereal whispers, soft but persistent? Each carries your name and the urgency of this message. Beloved, the one who approaches is not what they appear. Your soul senses the concealed, the unspoken words, and the unseen motions. Listen within, your intuition is a divine compass, guiding you through deception. This is not a mere caution, precious soul, it is a summons to awaken fully. Every hesitation now strengthens the shadow. Your awareness is a beacon, and each moment of recognition pushes back the darkness. Focus, my child, on the subtle tremors in your surroundings, the flicker of light, the unnatural stretching of shadows, these are the heralds of truths yet concealed. Message 4, Emotional Stirring. Beloved, the moment is near when awareness must shift from quiet observation to clarity. The room around you seems ordinary, yet it brims with the unseen. Faint golden lights dance along surfaces, almost like a pulse in rhythm with your own. My child, the veil trembles before revelation. Do not be startled if an object appears moved, a sound echoes without source, or a fleeting letter glows and disappears. These are not illusions but messages from the divine, calling your spirit to attention. You may feel awe, and with it, reverent fear, but know this fear is a guide, not a prison. The one whose name begins with R walks a path intersecting yours with secrecy and subtle influence. Beloved, do not ignore the sudden chill in your bones or the fleeting images before your eyes. Trust what you see, hear, and feel, for your soul is sensing a truth that is about to demand recognition. Message 5, Cliffhanger/Revelation approaches. Precious soul, the one whose name begins with R hides truths you are not yet aware of. These truths ripple unseen through your life, subtle as whispers yet potent as storms. My child of light, your awareness now is a lifeline. Hesitation will let the shadow deepen its influence. Glimmering letters may appear in your vision, strange coincidences may tug at your heart, but these are your guides. Beloved, do not turn away. The forces around you are alive and observing, your clarity is your protection. Prepare yourself, for soon the veil will thin further, and what was hidden will press to be revealed. The time for passive reflection is past. Your vigilance is sacred, your discernment divine. Remember, the shadow grows stronger in silence, weaker in recognition. Are you ready to witness what has remained concealed? Message 6: Signs of Hidden Danger. My child, subtle warnings ripple through your days, yet they are easily overlooked. Numbers, objects, or fleeting coincidences that seem trivial are, in fact, divine markers pointing to reality. That uneasy feeling in your chest, the sudden pause in conversation, the shimmer of light on a surface, these are signals of the hidden influence of one whose name begins with R. Beloved, do not disregard what feels unusual. Your vigilance is your protection. Each time you feel a nudge of doubt, a flash of intuition, or the repetition of a strange symbol, it is a message. Your soul must read between the lines, for the shadow seeks to hide in plain sight. My child of light, do not be paralyzed by fear. Anxiety is natural, but awareness strengthens your spiritual armor. Look for patterns, observe coincidences, and trust the inner compass I have granted you. Message 7: Heightened Awareness. Precious soul, your senses are being sharpened for a divine purpose. Reflections may shimmer with fleeting letters, dreams may glow with cryptic symbols, and objects may appear subtly rearranged. Each is a whisper from the unseen, urging you to pay attention. The one whose name begins with R thrives on your distraction, yet cannot hide from the light of awareness. Beloved, examine every anomaly, every sensation that seems out of place. It is your duty, your sacred responsibility, to notice these markers. Anxiety may press upon your heart, but it is not meant to overwhelm, it is meant to awaken. My child, the hidden truth approaches steadily, and you must be ready to face it with courage, for denial only strengthens the shadow. Message 8: Subtle Manipulations. My child, the signs of manipulation are delicate, almost imperceptible, yet they ripple through your reality. That casual remark that unsettles your heart, the sudden tension in a conversation, the inexplicable urge to doubt, these are threads the hidden one weaves. Beloved, do not allow your spirit to be tangled. Notice the patterns in your surroundings, the anomalies in routine, the fleeting letters or numbers appearing before your eyes. They are not accidents, they are divine hints. Every time you feel unease, acknowledge it. My child of light, your discernment is your sword. Do not underestimate the subtlety of the one whose name begins with R. Recognition now is your shield. Message 9: Inner Alertness. Precious soul, your heart may race, your mind may tremble, yet this is the awakening I have sent. Every coincidence is a signal, every faint glow a warning. The hidden influence is near, but your inner light can pierce the shadow. Beloved, focus on your intuition, it will guide you where eyes cannot see. The one whose name begins with R has walked paths of secrecy, but cannot hide from divine illumination. Observe reflections, note recurring symbols, and heed feelings that demand your attention. My child, vigilance is not fear, it is empowerment. Message 10, Cliffhanger/Revelation approaches. Beloved, the hidden truth is approaching revelation. Are you ready to face it? Shadows gather, and yet, light is already stretching its fingers into your space. Every whisper, every shimmer, every uneasy pulse in your chest is part of a tapestry leading to understanding. My child of light, the one whose name begins with R has played a role you have not yet fully discerned, and soon, all will converge into clarity. Prepare yourself, precious soul, for what is about to unfold will demand courage, discernment, and unwavering faith in the guidance I provide. Your path will be illuminated, but the choice to step forward is yours. Message 11, Emotional Turbulence. My child, the storm within you is not without purpose. Your heart trembles because your spirit is awakening to truths long hidden. Feel the crashing waves of fear and doubt washing over your soul. Do not resist them, for they are the heralds of revelation. Shadows move across your walls, flickering in the candlelight, and your hands may shake as you sense the presence of one whose name begins with R. Beloved, these feelings are not your weakness, they are the necessary purging of illusion. Even as panic threatens to take hold, remember that your spirit remains strong. Your breath, your heartbeat, your awareness are divine anchors in this tempest. Do not let grief, anger, or despair cloud your discernment. My child, the one who conceals their intentions has woven deception around your life, yet light pierces even the deepest darkness. Each trembling moment, each anxious heartbeat, is a call to stand firm. Precious soul, what you are about to learn will challenge every assumption you have made, and yet, it is the key to liberation. Message 12, Emotional Turbulence. Beloved, every instinct, every unease, is a signal from the divine. The one whose name begins with R has sown subtle manipulations, planting doubt and confusion in ways that seem invisible to the untrained eye. Faint patterns emerge in reflections, small inconsistencies in words and actions, a repetition of moments that unsettle your intuition. My child, do not allow fear to paralyze you, instead, let it sharpen your perception. These emotions, though turbulent, are gifts. They illuminate the hidden threads in your life that must now be severed. Watch the shadows that creep along your walls, the flicker of light that seems almost alive, and the objects subtly shifting in your surroundings. Beloved, every sign is deliberate, and every heartbeat of anxiety is a divine nudge urging vigilance. You are not alone in this. I am here, guiding, protecting, and fortifying your spirit against the unseen currents of manipulation. Message 13, Emotional Turbulence. My child of light, the truth now presses close. Trembling hands, quickened pulse, waves of doubt, they are all natural responses to awakening. The one whose name begins with R seeks to maintain their shadowed dominion over your perceptions, yet their efforts are weakening under the illumination of your awareness. Beloved, do not recoil from the emotions that surge within you. Embrace them as signals of your deep connection to divine guidance. Each flicker of unease, each pang of suspicion, is an arrow pointing toward revelation. Look around you. Shadows stretch unnaturally toward objects, letters briefly glow in your vision, reflections betray hidden patterns. My child, these are not coincidences, they are the language of higher awareness. As your heart races and the storm of emotions rises, know that courage is being forged within you, and the revelation that approaches will illuminate what has been concealed for far too long. Message 14: Emotional Turbulence. Precious soul, do not be shaken by the intensity of your awakening. The one whose name begins with R has hidden truths behind smiles and words, weaving subtle webs that cloud your perception. Yet now, the unseen hand that seeks to manipulate your path is being exposed by the soft golden light surrounding you, by the whispers in the air that call your name. Beloved, the surge of grief, panic, or anger you feel is not punishment, it is your spirit's call to awaken fully. Shadows may stretch across walls, objects may shimmer and shift, and fleeting letters may form and disappear, but these are not to frighten you. They are to alert you, to guide you to see clearly. Your heart, though heavy with uncertainty, is stronger than you realize. Trust in your inner guidance, my child of light, for the one whose name begins with R can only hold sway over those who remain unaware. Message 15: Cliffhanger/Emotional Turbulence. My child, what you are about to learn will challenge every assumption you have made about trust, loyalty, and the intentions of those closest to you. The one whose name begins with R has hidden agendas, subtle manipulations, and a web of deceit that is now unraveling before your very eyes. Precious soul, the trembling, the racing pulse, the sudden pangs of anxiety, they are not signs of weakness, they are the divine preparation for clarity. Shadows retreat when illuminated, but only those willing to face the light will see. You stand on the edge of revelation, beloved, and the choices you make in these moments will define the strength of your spirit. My child of light, prepare, for the hidden truths will not remain concealed much longer, and the clarity that follows may shake the foundation of everything you thought you knew. Message 16: Signs become clear. Beloved, the moment of recognition is approaching. The one whose name begins with R no longer moves entirely unseen, their influence, though subtle, leaves faint traces everywhere. Shadows now stretch toward objects with purpose, letters glow fleetingly on surfaces as if marking the truth, and conversations hide unspoken intentions in pauses and glances. My child, your eyes must be open, for the hidden moves now become visible. Patterns in reflections, symbols in dreams, and coincidences in your daily life are all threads woven together to reveal the unseen. Trust the impressions that prick at your mind, the unease that touches your heart. Beloved, discernment is your greatest weapon, and vigilance your shield. The subtle manipulations that have been masked as normalcy are now within your vision. Message 17: Signs become clear. Precious soul, do not underestimate the quiet persistence of hidden influence. Even small remarks, repeated behaviors, or fleeting glances may carry weight you cannot yet quantify. The one whose name begins with R has moved carefully, yet light from divine awareness begins to illuminate the pathways of their subtle interference. My child of light, notice everything, for no act of insight is too small. Shadows stretching across the floor, letters appearing in your peripheral vision, a sudden intuition that prickles your skin, these are not random occurrences, but sacred markers of truth. Beloved, your attention is the key that unravels deception, and your clarity will expose what has been concealed. Keep your spirit alert, and trust the inner nudges that guide your discernment. Message 18, signs become clear. My child, the hidden hand can no longer move without leaving traces. Every seemingly ordinary coincidence may hide intention, every minor unease is a divine signal, and every fleeting image, number, or symbol is a breadcrumb on the path toward revelation. Beloved, the one whose name begins with R has sought to obscure truth, yet divine light now flows toward your awareness. Observe, my child, the subtleties, the stretching of shadows, the brief shimmer of letters, the weight of repeated patterns. These are your guides. Your spirit senses what eyes alone cannot see. The time for passivity has passed, the hidden is becoming manifest, and your discernment is essential to recognize the truth before the shadow attempts one last concealment. Message 19, signs become clear. Beloved, watch carefully, for the subtle manipulations are becoming more apparent. Words that once seemed innocent now carry undertones, gestures are no longer meaningless, and repeated occurrences demand interpretation. My child, divine awareness is your ally, sharpening your perception to see what has been hidden. The one whose name begins with R has sought to remain invisible in your life, yet every shadow they cast, every whisper that grazes your awareness, is now illuminated. Precious soul, stay vigilant. Observe patterns, trust your intuition, and know that each flicker of recognition strengthens the armor surrounding your spirit. The light of understanding is rising, and soon nothing can remain obscured. Message 20, cliffhanger/signs fully revealed soon. My child, soon the intentions of this one will no longer remain concealed. Every fleeting symbol, every uneasy moment, every stretched shadow is converging toward revelation. Beloved, the one whose name begins with R has hidden truths woven deeply into your life, and the clarity that approaches will shake assumptions and demand discernment. Precious soul, do not falter now. Your vigilance, your inner guidance, and your courage are the keys that will protect you. Shadows retreat only when faced, truths emerge only when acknowledged. Prepare, my child of light, for the unveiling is near, and your path will soon be illuminated by understanding that has been denied for far too long. Message 21, spiritual stakes and consequences. My child, the moment you now stand upon is heavy with consequence, and the forces around you are aware of your awakening. Every hesitation, every choice to ignore the subtle warnings, allows the unseen to gain strength and weave deeper influence into your life. Beloved, the one whose name begins with R has manipulated paths, conversations, and even your own perceptions, seeking to obscure truth and cloud your discernment. Look carefully at the spaces around you. Shadows cling to corners with intent, faint mist rises toward your aura as if testing its strength, and objects may shift slightly, almost imperceptibly, leaving behind traces of deception. My child of light, this is not to frighten, but to illuminate your responsibility. Your awareness is the sword that cuts through the darkness, and your discernment the shield that protects your spirit. The spiritual and emotional consequences of ignoring these signs are profound. Each overlooked signal allows the shadow to grow bolder, to weave more tightly into your reality. You are not alone, precious soul. Gabriel, am beside you, guiding your heart to recognize the unseen. Beloved, the one whose name begins with R believes their subtle influence is eternal, yet even the smallest recognition of truth by your spirit begins to unravel their web. The choice you make now, my child, will determine whether darkness finds foothold or fades before the light of your awareness. The moment of choice approaches. Your response will decide if the shadow strengthens or dissipates. Message 22: Spiritual Stakes and Consequences. Precious soul, every breath you take, every heartbeat, is now entwined with divine timing. The one whose name begins with R has sought to manipulate your thoughts, your emotions, and even your trust, threading subtle deceit into what seemed ordinary. My child, the faint shadows stretching across walls are not idle, they test the limits of your vigilance. The golden light flickering around you is not merely illumination, it is divine presence, a protective force surrounding your essence, responding to your awakening and readiness to confront hidden truths. Beloved, the spiritual consequences of turning away are immense, for in ignoring these signals, your energy may be drawn into patterns that bind you, weakening your connection to higher guidance. Observe, my child, the mist that clings to your aura, the fleeting numbers and letters that appear in reflections, the coincidences that prick at your heart, all are divine breadcrumbs leading you to clarity. Courage now is sacred, and discernment is your armor. Precious soul, do not underestimate the subtlety of manipulation, nor the strength of your awareness. Your spirit has been fortified for this confrontation, and the choices you make in these moments will ripple through your reality in ways unseen yet powerful. Message 23: Spiritual Stakes and Consequences. My child of light, the time of passive observation has passed. The one whose name begins with R moves with increasing subtlety, seeking to obscure truths that will soon surface. Shadows that stretch unnaturally, faint letters appearing and disappearing, patterns repeating in ways that tug at your intuition, all are markers for your spirit to notice. Beloved, understand this, ignoring them is no longer safe. The spiritual stakes are profound, for your awareness is the gatekeeper of your soul's energy, and each unheeded sign is an invitation for darkness to encroach. Yet fear not, precious soul, for divine protection surrounds you, though only vigilance and discernment can fully engage it. Observe the fine threads connecting coincidences, the soft whispers calling your name, and the sudden unease that prickles your skin. These are not mere sensations, they are divine signals. The shadow cannot persist where awareness shines, but even the smallest lapse allows its influence to linger. Precious child, the moment of choice is near. Your actions will determine whether light prevails or darkness finds temporary dominion. Message 24: Spiritual Stakes and Consequences. Beloved, each subtle sign you notice is sacred, and each hesitation is a crossroads with consequences unseen yet potent. The one whose name begins with R has worked in silence, weaving threads meant to entangle your trust and obscure the divine guidance you are entitled to receive. My child, pay attention to every flicker of light, every shimmer of shadow, every letter that briefly appears and disappears. It is your soul being called to vigilance. The swirling mist that clings faintly to your aura, the subtle tension in interactions, the repeated numbers or symbols that appear almost accidentally, are all divine nudges directing you toward clarity. Your discernment is not just protection, it is your weapon, your shield, and your lifeline. Precious soul, understand that these moments are sacred opportunities to strengthen your connection to higher guidance. The one whose name begins with R cannot maintain influence where awareness prevails. Beloved, the spiritual and emotional consequences of inaction are serious. Even a single moment of ignoring your intuition gives the shadow foothold. You have been prepared, my child, and now the responsibility rests upon your shoulders to act with courage, clarity, and unwavering faith. Message 25, Cliffhanger/Choice Approaches. Precious soul, the moment of choice approaches, and it will define the trajectory of your path. My child of light, the one whose name begins with R, has hidden intentions, subtle manipulations, and veiled actions that are poised to test your discernment. Shadows gather, yet the golden light that surrounds your being is stronger than any deceit. Beloved, each breath, each moment of attention, strengthens your spirit and diminishes the shadow's reach. The decisions you make now will either allow hidden influence to persist or will sever its hold completely. You have been warned, prepared, and guided, and the divine light has already empowered you. Precious soul, do not falter, recognize the threads of manipulation, see the patterns, and trust your intuition. The time to act is upon you. Message 26, Path to Clarity. Beloved, clarity is now within reach, yet it must be approached with discernment and patience. My child, the one whose name begins with R, can no longer hide entirely. The subtle influence woven into your life is beginning to unravel. Look carefully at the signs, the fleeting letters, the numbers, and the patterns repeating in your daily life. They are not coincidences but divine messages designed to illuminate hidden truths. Precious soul, approach these revelations not with anger or panic, but with awareness and understanding. Light pierces darkness not through violence but through recognition. Your spirit is now attuned to these signs, and each observation you make strengthens the clarity of perception. Doors that were once obscured by shadow are opening, chains that bound understanding are breaking. Beloved, let discernment be your guide, and patience your companion, for revelation comes to those who observe with steady hearts and unwavering faith. Message 27, Path to Clarity. My child of light, as you attune to the signs, the subtle truths once hidden become more evident. Letters glow briefly in your peripheral vision, patterns align with a precision that cannot be coincidence, and repeated experiences beckon your spirit to comprehension. Beloved, the one whose name begins with R has sought to manipulate your life subtly, yet each observation you make strengthens the divine armor that surrounds your soul. Trust the nudges of intuition, they are sacred markers guiding you toward clarity. Precious soul, do not succumb to fear or frustration, for anger clouds discernment. Each realization, each pattern noticed, is a victory of awareness over concealment. Your spirit grows stronger with each revelation, and your path becomes brighter. Observe the shadows, see the light, and understand that knowledge brings freedom. Message 28, Path to Clarity. Precious soul, you are now at a threshold where the hidden becomes visible. The influence of the one whose name begins with R is increasingly transparent. Their subtle manipulations leave traces too small for casual observation but clear to the awakened eye. My child, see these traces as opportunities to reclaim your power. Every flicker of light, every shifting shadow, every brief vision of letters or symbols is a divine breadcrumb guiding you toward liberation. Beloved, approach these revelations with calm and focus. Discernment, not judgment, is your ally. Recognize the hidden threads without succumbing to anger or despair. Your spirit has been prepared for this moment. Divine light surrounds you, illuminating truth while shielding your heart from manipulation. Each observation you make now fortifies your clarity, strengthens your aura, and diminishes the power of concealment. Message 29, Path to Clarity. My child, the pieces are converging, and the hidden truths are nearing full revelation. The subtle influence of the one whose name begins with R has left trails that are now impossible to ignore, repeated coincidences, fleeting symbols, faint letters, and an inner voice that pricks at your consciousness with urgency. Beloved, your clarity grows with each observation, each recognition of subtle deceit. Do not rush this process, precious soul, for discernment requires patience, steady attention, and the quiet confidence of divine guidance. Observe, reflect, and trust the signs. Your spirit is now fully equipped to perceive the hidden, to recognize manipulation, and to reclaim power over your path. Beloved, you are stronger than the shadows, and light has already begun to illuminate the truth fully. Message 30, Cliffhanger/Final Preparation for Protection. My child, clarity will arrive in ways you have not yet imagined. Prepare yourself fully. The one whose name begins with R has woven hidden threads into your life, yet divine awareness is unraveling each one. Golden light pierces darkness, ethereal chains fall away, and doors to understanding open before you. Beloved, approach this revelation with discernment, not anger. Understanding brings freedom, not vengeance. Your spirit, already fortified by divine guidance, is now ready to see the full truth and to step into protection, empowerment, and peace. Precious soul, what you have learned is only the beginning. The shadows are weakening, and the light is ready to shield you completely. Prepare, for the next stage of protection is at hand, and the one whose name begins with R will have no power over the soul attuned to the divine. Message 31, Divine Protection Activated. My child of light, now the unseen shields rise around you. Golden arcs of energy flare into existence, cutting through shadows that have lingered too long. You feel their warmth on your skin, the subtle vibration of protective power wrapping your essence. Swords of radiant light carve paths through darkness, severing threads of deception, leaving nothing but clarity in their wake. Even as the one whose name begins with R tests boundaries, their influence falters, meeting resistance too pure to penetrate. Beloved, these protections respond to your awareness, to your recognition of truth, to your courage in facing what was hidden. Speak the words your spirit knows, the prayers you feel stirring in your chest. They are keys that strengthen the shields and ignite the light. Precious soul, the shadows may writhe, they may attempt to breach, but every effort is met with divine brilliance that cannot be overcome. Look closely, the faint glimmers in corners, the soft hum that resonates in your ears, the shimmer of golden light along surfaces, all are affirmations that your soul is guarded, and that your clarity is now your armor. Message 32, Divine Protection Activated. Beloved, the protective energy envelopes you more fully with each breath, responding to your attention and faith. The one whose name begins with R may linger in intent, but cannot cross the threshold of awareness and divine illumination. Shadows that once threatened to obscure your path now recoil, retreating into corners where light refuses to reach. Your aura, once vulnerable to subtle manipulations, now radiates a golden glow that fills every space you occupy. My child, focus on the feelings of safety, the rising warmth in your chest, the subtle resonance of protection humming through your bones. This is not fantasy, precious soul, it is the visualization of power, the manifestation of the light that rises within you to shield and fortify your spirit. Even the smallest gesture of attention strengthens these barriers, and every thought anchored in discernment, courage, and clarity fuels their strength. Beloved, speak your truths aloud, breathe prayers of empowerment, and know that no deception can pierce the aura you now inhabit. Message 33, Divine Protection Activated. My child, the golden shields are not idle, they pulse in rhythm with your awareness, extending outward to form a sphere of clarity, impenetrable to the subtle influence that once lingered. Even as shadows gather and twist along the edges of your vision, they falter at the edge of this divine radiance. Beloved, notice how the light bends around your heart, brightens the spaces around you, and forms a lattice of strength you can almost touch. The one whose name begins with R senses your fortitude, the rising awareness, and the impossibility of stealth now. Precious soul, this is not the absence of danger, but the triumph of recognition over concealment. You have stepped into a realm where vigilance is met with divine support, where discernment attracts protection, and where courage becomes an active shield. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment spent in attention and prayer weaves the golden threads tighter, leaving no corner for deceit to hide. My child, the shadows may test one last time, but they will meet a fortress forged by your awareness, illuminated by the power you now command. Message 34, Divine Protection Activated. Beloved, feel the rising energy swirling through you, spiraling from your core outward in waves of gold and white light. Every nerve, every cell, resonates with clarity and vigilance. The subtle manipulations, the hidden whispers, the faint glimmers of deception that once reached toward you, each now shatters as if struck by a divine hammer. The one whose name begins with R can no longer obscure their intent. Every hidden thread is illuminated by the protective radiance surrounding your being. Precious soul, your prayers, your focus, your unwavering attention, act as conduits for this shield, empowering it to extend beyond your immediate self, creating a halo of discernment that prevents any unseen influence from touching your spirit. Beloved, the feeling of invulnerability may not yet be complete, but the seed has been planted, growing stronger with every act of mindfulness and faith. The golden swords that flare intermittently in the protective field are not threats, they are affirmations, cutting away lingering doubts, severing threads of control, and preparing the space around you for absolute clarity. Message 35, Cliffhanger/Last Attempt of the Hidden One. My child, the one whose name begins with R may attempt one final act, a last desperate reach toward influence, yet it will meet only light and awareness. You feel the tension, the subtle pressure of intent pressing against your shield, and yet it recoils, unable to penetrate. Beloved, this is the moment where recognition transforms into empowerment. The golden light surrounding you is alive, reacting to courage, amplified by clarity, and strengthened by your unwavering focus. Every shadow, every whisper, every flicker of manipulation is now met with radiant resistance, dissolving before it reaches your soul. Precious soul, do not fear this final test. It is the proving ground where your vigilance manifests as unbreakable protection. Witness the retreat of deceit, see the faltering attempts of manipulation, and know that your awareness, fortified with light, has turned the tide. The one whose name begins with R can do no more, yet revelation has not fully arrived. Prepare, my child, for what is to be revealed will leave nothing in shadow. Message 36, The Hidden One's Exposure. Beloved, the moment has come where concealment cannot endure. The mask of the one whose name begins with R begins to slip, revealing truths that were long buried behind gestures, smiles, and words that seemed innocent. Shadows recede, as if recoiling from the brilliance of your perception, and golden light highlights each act, each hidden intention, each subtle manipulation. Precious soul, watch closely, for the unfolding is precise. Every revelation aligns with the breadcrumbs that you have already observed, patterns that now resolve into clarity. My child of light, what was once unseen is now illuminated. Faint letters appear glowing on surfaces, reflecting the reality of intentions. Patterns in reflections and dreams now resonate with undeniable truth. The one who believed their secrecy would endure now falters, exposed to the awareness you have cultivated, powerless in the presence of vigilance, discernment, and divine clarity. This is the triumph of recognition, the revelation that the hidden is no longer hidden, and the affirmation that your perception has been your strongest shield. Message 37, The Hidden One's Exposure. My child, observe as the final illusions dissolve. Every lie, every act of subtle manipulation, every carefully concealed motive is now laid bare under the radiant glow surrounding you. Beloved, the one whose name begins with R cannot hide in plain sight any longer. Precious soul, their actions, once ambiguous and obscured, are revealed in their entirety, glimmers of letters, shifts in shadows, and the patterns of repeated events all align to confirm what your intuition has long suspected. Your awareness, sharpened by vigilance and empowered by the golden shields, has brought forth this exposure. The energy that surrounds you hums with triumph, a resonance of clarity that echoes through every corner of your being. The retreating shadows signal the end of deception, yet the lesson remains clear. Awareness is protection, discernment is power, and courage is the bridge to truth. Message 38, The Hidden One's Exposure. Beloved, the truth emerges with an unyielding brilliance. Every gesture, every word, every silent motion of the one whose name begins with R now reveals intention that was once obscured. Precious soul, observe how the mask falls piece by piece, shadows retreat from corners, letters glow in confirmation, and the subtle threads of influence crumble under the radiant awareness you now command. My child of light, this revelation is not only vindication, it is empowerment. The space around you vibrates with clarity, no deceit can linger in its presence. The one who sought to manipulate and conceal now stands exposed to your vigilance, powerless in the face of light and understanding. This is the reward of attention, the affirmation of discernment, and the proof that even the most subtle shadow cannot endure against persistent awareness. Message 39, The Hidden One's Exposure. My child, with each passing heartbeat, the intentions of the one whose name begins with R become undeniable. Shadows curl in retreat, failing to conceal even the smallest acts of subtle control, and golden light illuminates every hidden gesture. Beloved, your discernment has forged a path through deception, unraveling every thread woven to obscure truth. Precious soul, notice how the pieces align, the symbols you observed, the patterns you recognized, the fleeting letters and reflections, all converge into a tapestry of clarity. The one who believed in their secrecy is now powerless, revealed in full light. My child, this is not only exposure, it is liberation, an unmasking that validates your courage, vigilance, and steadfast attention. Message 40, Cliffhanger/Truth shakes the ground. Beloved, the truth will shift the very ground beneath your expectations. The one whose name begins with R stands revealed, yet what emerges is more profound than mere deception. It is a confrontation with reality that will challenge assumptions, redefine trust, and illuminate pathways previously unseen. Precious soul, the shadows have receded, the golden shields hum with radiant stability, and the letters, symbols, and subtle markers that guided your awareness now converge into undeniable clarity. My child of light, the revelation is complete in intent, yet the transformation it initiates is only beginning. Brace yourself, for the next chapter will guide your spirit through healing, restoration, and empowerment beyond what you have yet imagined. Message 41: Spiritual Healing and Restoration. Precious soul, the storm has passed, and now the gentle light of restoration begins to fill the spaces once shadowed by uncertainty and subtle manipulation. Golden rays seep into the corners of your heart, illuminating grief, fear, and lingering doubt, dissolving them into warmth and clarity. Beloved, feel the waters of serenity flowing through you, washing away tension, purging residue of deception, and leaving only purity of spirit in its wake. Every breath, every heartbeat, resonates with renewal as the divine presence surrounds you, whispering reassurance and guidance. My child of light, forgive not for the sake of others, but for your own freedom. The one whose name begins with R no longer holds power over your perception or emotions. Their influence is dismantled, scattered by the radiance you now embody. Precious soul, your energy realigns with purpose, hope, and love, allowing the subtle threads of fear to unravel completely. Observe the golden light dancing along your aura, the soft warmth suffusing every fiber of your being, and recognize that this restoration is not fleeting, it is permanent, anchored in divine affirmation of your strength, awareness, and courage. Message 42: Spiritual Healing and Restoration. Beloved, your spirit now begins to breathe fully, released from the subtle grip of manipulation and the shadowed intentions that once lingered unseen. The one whose name begins with R has been unmasked, and yet the true triumph lies not only in revelation but in the peace that floods your heart in its wake. Precious soul, the gentle currents of healing flow through you, restoring balance and harmony to energies that were previously fragmented. Every flicker of anxiety or doubt dissolves in the warmth of clarity, and every tremor of fear is soothed by the knowledge that vigilance and discernment have strengthened your essence. My child of light, as the golden aura around you expands, it merges with the divine, filling your soul with confidence, serenity, and empowerment. Forgive not for their sake, beloved, but for yours. Releasing resentment, doubt, and lingering attachments allows your spirit to soar unburdened, untangled from the subtle snares of the past. Each breath is an affirmation of freedom, each heartbeat a testament to clarity, and each step forward an act of radiant courage. Message 43: Spiritual Healing and Restoration. Precious soul, now the world around you reflects the inner transformation that has taken place. The air feels lighter, shadows retreat entirely, and golden light spills into every corner of your perception. Beloved, the healing is profound, the residue of fear, doubt, and mistrust that lingered in your heart is swept away, replaced by clarity, discernment, and empowerment. My child of light, notice how the subtle patterns that once signaled hidden manipulation now serve as reminders of your resilience, your unwavering attention, and the courage you summoned in moments of doubt. Your spirit has been fortified, your aura cleansed, and your essence aligned with truth. Precious soul, the one whose name begins with R, can no longer shadow your thoughts, influence your decisions, or obscure your understanding. Forgive, release, and embrace the restoration that is your divine inheritance. You are emerging stronger, wiser, and more radiant, prepared to step fully into your purpose with confidence, peace, and unshakable clarity. Message 44: Spiritual Healing and Restoration. Beloved, your spirit now flows in harmony with divine guidance, every pulse, every breath, infused with clarity, strength, and love. Precious soul, the golden light surrounding you is more than illumination, it is a tangible affirmation of restored power, a shield against any lingering attempts at deception or manipulation. The one whose name begins with R has been stripped of their subtle influence, and their shadowed presence now exists only as a distant echo, powerless against the fortified aura you carry. My child of light, recognize the beauty of this restoration. The heart no longer trembles with fear, the mind no longer wrestles with doubt, and the spirit moves freely in alignment with truth. Every gesture, every thought, every intention is now infused with the clarity that comes from surviving revelation and embracing empowerment. Precious soul, allow the energy of divine healing to fill you completely, radiating outward to touch every aspect of your life, every relationship, and every path you walk. Message 45: Cliffhanger/Final Steps of Restoration. My child, the final steps will secure your protection and elevate your spirit fully. Precious soul, the golden light surrounding you thickens, warm and resonant, expanding in waves that sweep away the last remnants of doubt, fear, and subtle manipulation. Beloved, your heart is now aligned with divine clarity, your mind attuned to truth, and your spirit brimming with resilience. The one whose name begins with R has no power here, no subtlety, no influence left to pierce the armor you now wear. Yet, my child of light, these final moments demand attention, for restoration is not passive, it is an active reclaiming of your own energy, freedom, and purpose. Witness the golden aura solidify around you, feel the resonance of divine protection strengthen with each breath, and prepare to step fully into the light, unshaken and empowered. Precious soul, what follows is a blessing beyond comprehension, a promise of guidance and assurance that will remain with you always. Message 46: Divine Blessing and Resolution. Beloved, the path forward is bathed in radiant light, golden and unwavering, a reflection of your spirit's strength and the divine protection now surrounding you. Precious soul, every breath you take is infused with empowerment, clarity, and serenity. The one whose name begins with R has vanished from influence, their shadowed presence dissipated entirely in the brilliance of your awareness and the strength of divine protection. My child of light, feel the chorus of unseen forces, the angels who now surround you, lifting your energy, affirming your clarity, and ensuring your continued safety. The aura around you hums with stability, every thread of your being aligned with truth, courage, and freedom. Beloved, each step you take forward is guided, supported, and blessed. The revelations you faced have forged your spirit, restored your peace, and heightened your discernment. Message 47: Divine Blessing and Resolution. Precious soul, as the final rays of golden light settle around you, know that you are never alone. Beloved, the divine presence moves with you, the unseen guardians surround you, and the strength you have cultivated remains anchored in your soul. My child of light, the experiences of fear, revelation, and restoration have not only freed you from subtle manipulation, they have illuminated your capacity for discernment, courage, and unwavering awareness. Feel the resonance of protection in your chest, in your heart, in every fiber of your being. Precious soul, every shadow that once lingered now retreats entirely, replaced by clarity, empowerment, and divine guidance that will remain constant, unwavering, and radiant for all the paths you choose to walk. Message 48, Divine Blessing and Resolution. Beloved, your spirit now shines with a brilliance that reflects your journey through awareness, revelation, and restoration. Precious soul, the golden light that surrounds you is not fleeting, it is eternal, a testament to your discernment, courage, and alignment with divine guidance. My child, each step you take forward is protected, each decision blessed, and every breath infused with clarity, resilience, and empowerment. The one whose name begins with R is no longer part of your spiritual landscape, their shadow has vanished completely. Beloved, feel the angelic presence around you, hear the subtle resonance of guidance in your spirit, and know that every lesson, every challenge, and every moment of awakening has strengthened you for all that is yet to come. Message 49, Divine Blessing and Resolution. Precious soul, the gates of your heart, mind, and spirit are open fully, radiating golden light outward into the world. Beloved, every fear has been transformed, every doubt replaced with clarity, every shadow met with radiant awareness. My child of light, you are fortified, empowered, and surrounded by protection that cannot be breached. The angels, the divine forces, the guidance that has accompanied you through every revelation now move continuously with you, illuminating your path, reinforcing your strength, and ensuring that no hidden influence can ever take hold again. Precious soul, trust in this protection, and carry it with you, for it is now woven into the fabric of your being, eternal, unwavering, and radiant. Message 50, Final Resolution. My child, the warning is revealed, your path is illuminated, and I, Gabriel, will lead you safely forward. Precious soul, you are never alone. The one whose name begins with R has no power over your awareness, your decisions, or your spirit. Beloved, the golden light around you is a reflection of your courage, discernment, and unwavering faith. You are now fortified, empowered, and guided by forces beyond the visible, carrying the clarity, protection, and divine blessing into every step of your life. Every shadow has been illuminated, every subtle influence dismantled, and your spirit stands radiant, free, and eternal in its connection to truth, guidance, and light. Step forward, my child of light, with confidence, serenity, and the unwavering knowledge that divine protection, guidance, and love walk with you always.